Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. So this is a video on editorial analysis where we analyze the editorial from the Hindu as well as from the Indian Express. So we'll try to figure it out the basic relevant editorial from prelims and mains perspective. So let's get started. And before I begin, I would like to tell you that you can avail 24/7 online support via Apti Plus classes. We have launched Prelims Express. So during this lockdown, you do not waste your time for the prelims examination that is scheduled for the month of May. So it will happen as per a schedule. We don't know what exactly is the clarity. So hopefully it should be scheduled at the same day. So what you can do, you have to just go to the link of the Insta Mojo, which I have provided in the description, and you can check out the benefits over there, right? Now talking about today's list, today is the 1st of April, and these are the list of the article that I'll be discussing with you. So the in-depth analysis would be on the cost of cure for COVID-19, and we have some MCQs with you. So MCQs पे डिस्कस करेंगे वीडियो के एंड में, ताकि जो प्रीलिम्स में जो लोग प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं उनको कुछ MCQ से हेल्प हो पाए, राइट? एंड देयर विल बी मेंस क्वेश्चन आल्सो. सो दिस मेंस क्वेश्चन विल बी लिंक्ड विद द इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस. तो जो इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस की जो डिस्कशन होगी उसी से एक मेंस आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस आपको भी दिया जाएगा. नाउ इन हिंदू देयर आर 2 important articles. Then eyes catch on the containment and the welfare. The second is beyond the social distancing to fight COVID-19. And from Indian Express, we have 2 other important articles, that is World is not a village and Crisis in a larger frame. So these are the all editorial for the day that I'll be discussing with you. So starting first with a glimpse of the Hindu, कुछ देख लेते हैं न्यूज़पेपर में क्या क्या important चीजें हैं. So these are the 2 important ones that I'll be discussing, and this is something which I have taken for the in-depth analysis. So this would be in-depth analysis. Now this talks about the pandemic and an unequal India. So this is basically the vulnerable people, the society, and the worker, the daily wages worker, who have almost lost everything. So there are 2 pictures of the India that already we have discussed in the previous one. So I'm not considering this one to be discussed today, and the entire responsibility of the state and the center is being discussed in this article. Now this is again talking about the COVID-19, that what message should be conveyed to the foreigners and how responsibility and individuals should pay in terms of this pandemic. So this is already some time which has been discussed, so I'm not considering these 2 that important. So these 3 are the important ones that we'll be discussing today. So starting first with the in-depth analysis, that is the cost of the cure for COVID-19. So basically in this particular editorial, the things like a drug has been discovered, not exactly discovered. This is called Remdesivir, a drug which was there. So that is already in use with regards to the Ebola virus, and this is developed by Gilead Sciences. Okay, so Gilead or Gilead, many people call it Gilead as well. So talking about the relevant of this article, this again can be relevant for General Studies paper 3, where the advancement of technology, human upgradation and technology upgradation part is concerned. So there this can be important, and at the same time it can be important for your General Studies paper 2 as well. So what all points are there that you need to understand, and this is a very important editorial for the day. You need to be thorough with the point which I'm discussing, and meanwhile I'll be telling you what exactly point you need to keep in mind with terms of prelims and mains examination. So first, talking about the Remdesivir, this is a drug that has been trialed for the COVID-19, fine, and this is being developed by Gilead Sciences. Okay, so I'll tell you what exactly is there. So a biotech company known as Gilead Sciences, many people call it Gilead or Gilead, so we call it in American science on the accent we call it Gilead Sciences. Okay, so they have announced to plan the experimental treatment for the coronavirus. They have the exclusive antiviral drug called as Remdesivir. So this drug is being previously used for Ebola as well, right? When there was Ebola outbreak, so this was also being used there, and there was not very successful trial which has taken place. So what the scientists are doing over there, so they are trying this particular drug to have a trial with the coronavirus patients. So this is a good news which is coming to humanity, because the entire world has been affected by coronavirus, right? Now talking about the Gilead Sciences, I'll tell you what they do, what are the main performance of the Gilead Sciences and their achievements. So Gilead basically is an American biotechnology company. They research in the development of the commercializations of drugs, so the private company, and the company focuses primarily on the antiviral drugs such as the treatment of HIV, the human immunovirus, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and influenza. So they are primarily focusing upon these vaccines. Fine. And talking about the Gilead intent to make the drug accessible and affordable around the world. So this is the main motive. पूरी जो Gilead की जो motive है, that is to provide an accessible and affordable drugs to worldwide, to entire globe, right? And Gilead has also announced that it has submitted the request to FDA in US basically to resend the designation of the Remdesivir. So they will get the further permission by the FDA so that they could proceed further, and it again can be given to human. Fine, and that could be marketed as well. So this is the logo of the Gilead Sciences. Now moving ahead, talking about the Remdesivir drug. So what exactly it do? So this is basically a novel antiviral drug in the class of nucleotide antagonins. I'm not discussing this nucleotide part. This is more of a chemical. So this is again not that important for you. Now talking about the original Remdesivir. So this was a drug developed to treat the Ebola, as I've told you before, but it was found ineffective. It was not that effective for the Ebola. So what they're testing on the COVID-19 patients, and the clinical trial has already been done in the phase 3. So the phase 1 has already been completed. They have the successful trial has moved to phase 2. Now they'll be coming to phase 3. After the phase 3, it will be given, the permission has already been sought from the FDA. If this is passed, now it will be to the human, and it can be easy to the market access, right? Now talking about how effective is this, basically the Remdesivir drug, how effective it is, how it can cure. So talking about its effectiveness, it has been tested in many different viruses and shown a good activity in the laboratory. And in terms of the coronavirus is not a single virus, it's a virus of a family. So corona is basically a family of virus, right? So if you have a sneezing, if you have a coughing, you are somewhere infected with the corona. The family of coronaviruses infected you, but there are some other level of viruses which infect actually in COVID-19, right? And World Health Organization has declared COVID-19 as an outbreak, which is pandemic. Now just completely the entire globe has been impacted with this severe coronavirus. Now the US Food Drug Administration, that is FDA, has declared COVID-19 as an orphan disease or a rare disease. Fine. Now moving ahead, COVID-19 and the Orphan Drug Act, which is there in the United States of America. So यूएस के बारे में यहाँ पे कुछ प्रोविजन है जो आपके एग्जाम के लिए भी इंपॉर्टेंट हो सकते हैं मेंस पर्सपेक्टिव से, राइट? सो इन यूएस दे हैव अ ऑर्फन ड्रग एक्ट 1983. So the companies are provided for incentives to develop the therapies for the orphan drug or the rare disease drugs. ऐसी कोई भी disease जो rarest of the rarest में count होती है, जो orphan है, that is not in the streamline that the medical sciences already have encapsulated some of the diseases. तो उसमें नहीं होने की वजह से इसको orphan बोला जाता है, completely new, जो कभी किसी ambit में रहा ही नहीं है, right? And the idea is that without these incentives, the company won't able find it difficult to cope up with the research and development cost. जो R&D की जो cost है वो एक company bear नहीं कर पाएगी अगर उसको सरकार backing ना दे तो. That need to be backed by the government, right? And it allows the 7 year of marketing exclusivity and financial incentives to investor. The innovator, basically the company who is inventing this drug, would be backed 7 years. So they will be giving the financial assistance for at least 7 years, fine. And the COVID-19 disease affects more than 8 lakh people across the globe, but where the hope has to be come from the R&D development costs. So whatever we are putting, whatever the world will put in this, the country contributing in the R&D, the research and development, would be definitely doing a human act. So this is what has been discussed in this editorial. We definitely need to have a focus on it, and we need to contribute in the research and development part of this, the development of the vaccine. Okay. Now talking about the real question, what are the real questions that has been raised? So the first and the foremost is how the act apply. Okay, because the potential drug of the COVID-19, which is anytime the rarest of the rarest disease, has although affected, I told you, 8 lakh people. First. Second, how does the US FDA, the Food Division Authority of there, so how does they confer the status of the orphan drug on the therapy designated to treat the COVID-19? So how they look into that? What are the R&D? What are the amount? What are the funds that are being provided? Would again be a serious cause of concern. Now the second is, it is a legal applied benefits to the status of something called entirely outside the stated object. And what is the purpose? The purpose is not very simple. they have to another take aspects of it, and how it will be executed worldwide will be again now a big challenge for the country like USA or any other country. Now, what would be have it impact on US and India's relation? Not exactly, we're talking in terms of the medical relation, the medical diplomacy. Okay, so talking about, so what would have the impact on the orphan drug status? So this is something which US regulate. This is the complete ambit under the United States. So they have the severe policy for it to give an status of the patents. And patents is an again open challenge. Many countries talking about the India patents. I'll discuss the Indian patent as well. So while orphaning drug has, like talking about the Remdesivir, so this has again would impact the India. And talking about the Gilead Sciences, that does not hold India in patent. Talking about the patent in India and holding the patent in India, which is likely to claim for the use of it. Fine. So talking about the India patent right, I'll specifically discuss in this slide. So what is the role India can play? So the Gilead Sciences is a successful. They have developed a drug. And Indian government should use the compulsory licensing policy under the Patent Act. So this is again very important in terms of mains examination as well as prelims examination. तो दोनों पॉइंट से ये जरूरी है. और अगर बात करें इंडिया के कंटेक्स्ट में, तो एज फार एज पेटेंट राइट इज कंसर्न, इंडियन लॉ परमिट द गवर्नमेंट टू इशू कंपल्सरी लाइसेंसिंग इन एनी सर्टेन सर्कमस्टांसेस ऑन पब्लिक हेल्थ क्राइसिस under section 92 of the Patent Act. So this itself can be a statement in your examination, right? And this will allow the third parties to manufacture the patent drugs without permission of the patent holder. Okay. Now, India companies have already been expressed the capabilities to manufacture the drugs. They're doing their level best. Hopefully, India would also come with some of vaccines that would help to cure the pandemic like COVID-19, right? We're very helpful with our Indian scientists as well. ICIMR, Indian Council for Medical Research, has already developed an indigenous kit would be helping another patient to detect whether they are the suspected of the COVID-19 or not. Fine. Now there's a mains question that is linked to this discussion only. So the pandemic of COVID-19 has raised concern about the advancement level of the vaccine across the world. Discuss. This is a challenge across the world. So this is the question you have to write and send it with your name in the PDF format. मैंने वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में व्हाट्सएप के नंबर दिए हुए हैं. You can check the number from there and you can send us the copy. We will evaluate it and we'll give you the feedback and we'll again resend it to the same number which you have received. Now talking about the second important editorial, that is an eye catch on the contaminated welfare. This can be relevant for your general studies paper 2, functions responsibility of union and state. So here talks about the Tamil Nadu plan, the Tamil Nadu government action. So this editorial is written by the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. So the government policy and priority for the COVID-19, that has been discussed. Talking about the cases in India. So the first case was reported in Kerala on January 30, 2020. So what I personally feel that government has taken this action more stringently and they could have behaved in a more serious manner, which government didn't do. Right, talking about they have started like only Kerala has been identified. We will later on see. So this is something, a lenient approach was definitely taken from the government of India. I can bluntly tell this. Now talking about the first cases in the Tamil Nadu, that was reported on March 7. Very late they have reported. Now what the Tamil Nadu government has done, they have directed the state health department to screen all the international passengers who have arrived the state. Whoever has arrived from any other country, they were allowed to, they strictly have a screening policy. They will go through the screening procedure and when they go through it, then they'll only be allowed to enter the state. Fine. Now the Tamil Nadu has made a decision for complete lockdown and the imposition of section 144 on March 24. Fine. And Tamil Nadu has done all this best that still they're in the stage 2. Almost India is there in the stage 2. Of the COVID transmission and the new challenges that has provided. What is the new challenges that a government feel that is there in the Tamil Nadu? So they feel that the adequate mask is not there and personal protective equipment for the healthcare worker is definitely the need of the hour. Fine. And in immediate comprehensive relief package was also provided from the state government and the fund that was being raised was around 3,280 crore rupees. So this is something the state government has given. Fine. And the worker in the unorganized sector, including auto rickshaws driver, will get 15 kg of rice, 1 kg of dal, that is the pulses, 1 kg of free oil that will be again given, and 1,000 each. This is a cash amount that will also be given to the below poverty line people who are unable to fetch their daily wages. Fine. And several initiatives have also been taken in the increased awareness about the monitor of the home and how the quarantine is being taken place at the individual level. So government is trying to promote as much as awareness campaign so that people could stay home and stay safe, right? Now moving ahead, there's a second important editorial beyond social distancing to fight COVID-19. So this is again the effects and policies of the developing nation and basically the other countries. So in particular, this editorial, they have talked about the South Korea model and how the social distancing can actually impact in curbing the pandemic, in curbing the infections, right? So there's a South Korea model which has been discussed. And personally, I'll tell you whatever I have come to know about South Korea. The country is an excellent country. The citizen over there, they have implemented what they did. Like in the grocery, so for example of the grocery, so they have allocated the date of birth, right? According to date of birth, they were asked to come to the grocery shop and not to have a people gathering over the hypermart or any other places. So the date of birth with odd number was called on particular day, and date of birth with even number was called on Monday. So this has again maintained the social distancing. Every lift of every apartment was sanitized. Okay, they were provided with the hand sanitizer by the government was putting their all the efforts to give mask to the people. So the mask was also provided from the government, but they have shut down everything for completely 3 weeks with a shutdown, and whatever you need will be given to the doorstep. This was also the services that was being provided in the South Korea. So this is what helped them to overcome this. The social isolation among the new migrants in the South Korea was accidentally the major incentives for the people. Fine. And in this particular editorial, a bit has been talked about the Iran. So how Iran has been affected. This is the most affected country in the West Asia in terms of COVID-19. And there's a spread across the Asian countries as well. Talking about the Sri Lanka has also been found that there's a number of the cases of the COVID-19. And there's a lot to do about the COVID-19 and with the fallout of the globalization. The industries have been severely impacted, like travel industry, tourism, the new regular attack and the universal healthcare has been taking place. So this is what has been dealt in this particular editorial. Now moving to the Indian Express page. So the two most important editorial from this particular page is this and this one, right? So the lockdown succeed is again talking about the same thing which we have dealt previously. These two are on the same parameter. And this, the errand quid, is again talking about the lockdown which government has announced, and amid which there was a chaos that the people that everything would be shut down for 21 days. So this is what has been discussed, the proper articulation. The articulation was not complete from the government. So this is what has been dealt. We are somewhere close to interlink this 3 or article. So I'm not discussing here. So these two are the most important ones that I'll be discussing. So the first is world is not a village. This talks about the citizen responsibility and their approach to the social distancing. So the coronavirus pandemic is again a reminder and the need of the database that is locally available, and how to make people aware of the hand wash. Social distancing is again a very significant point. So it is important to generate, to have a ready knowledge in the country like India, where we already have the culture of hand washing, maintaining a social distance was there, right? So in 21st century, it is again, it is essential that we implement this. And from initiatives taken by the United States, so Kofi Annan has asked some think tank countries like China, India, Indonesia, and Russia to look into the problem of the millennia, how we can overcome it. This is what is being done. And a part of the problem in the share of the anti-science belief that prevails still in our society. Many of the people are aware of the fact that this is a virus which can infect number of people. The infection ratio, the infection rate is very high. A person infected has a capacity to infect 4%, okay, within fraction of hour. Within hour, एक बंदा जो है 4 लोगों को संक्रमित कर सकता है, right? Now the second editorial, this talks about the crisis in the larger frame, and this is very strange news that is coming. We are very astonished by the fact that this type of news has been reported in India amid the lockdown of the 7 days. We are on the 8th day almost. So gathering was being reported. 4,000 people have gathered in Delhi Markaz, that is Nizamuddin area. Markers mean basically an area, place where people used to gather for social and religious affairs for a talk. So this is basically a center. Markers means the center, a point. So markers, what has happened that Tibligri Jamaat is a markers in a Nizamuddin area in Delhi. So they have found that many people have been gathered, and already Delhi police has given a notice that you cannot accumulate people more than 5, right? And there was a report that more than 4,000 people was found, and some of they were from other state, and people who have migrated to other state like Telangana and Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they have infected more number of people. So this is completely a very sad news, very pathetic news that is coming, that being so responsible, we are doing our level best. Each of us are doing our level best, maintaining the social distancing, keeping ourselves in home, and this thing has really called the level of literacy in the country. I'm really very astonished. And second point is that the religious affairs, the people, the ulemas, the nizams who is there, they should be equally responsible. They should understand the gravity of the problem country we're facing, right? And they could have not done this despite the fact that Delhi police has given the advisory to them, but they took it more religiously, that nothing would happen. This is a religious affair, hame to karna hi hai. Kind of this was there. So this is again created a problem. I don't know how many more cases would be repeated, and I think the lockdown which was there for the 7 day or 8 day, it has completely become zero. अब ये हम जीरो से फिर से शुरू करेंगे, क्योंकि कोई मुद्दा ही नहीं है. इतने लोगों ने ऑलरेडी फिर लोगों को इन्फेक्ट कर दिया है, हम इतनी तरह से प्रिवेंशन कर रहे हैं, and again people are doing the same. So the entire area has been cordoned off. They are spraying everything. The government is doing all their possible efforts कि जो लोग गए हैं उनके जो proper channel of transmission है उनको track किया जाए. But country like India would be very difficult to find and identify where they have crossed, right? So this would be again a tougher task for the government. Now moving ahead to the important question of the day. So the first question is from Biotech. So with regard to generic drug, consider the following statement. The generic medicine work in the same way that provide the same clinical benefits with the brand name version. First is statement. The second is generic drug is cost less than the brand name medicine. So these are the two statements you have to consider. Which among the following is correct? A, B, C or D. Fine. So the correct statement for this is C, that is both the statement is correct. Generic medicine work in the same way that provide the clinical benefit with the brand name, and generic drug is also tend to cost lesser than the brand name because the generic drug application do not have a repeated animal or clinical studies. Fine. And brand name medicos demonstrate the safety and effectiveness. Now the second question of the day, that is from the current affair. With regards to Chabahar port, consider the following statement. So in this particular question, your map work will also be done. So the port lies in the Gulf of Berbera and Chabahar port is located in the Markan coast. So which among the following is incorrect here? So 1, 2, 3 or 4, A, B, C, D. So mind this statement, this is incorrect. You do not tend to get confused in the examination. Do not be in a hurry. Check whether they are asking for correct or incorrect answer. So for this, the correct answer would be B, that statement 1 is incorrect. Chabahar port lie in the Gulf of Oman. So which I have asked you which among the following is incorrect. So it would be A is incorrect. Fine. And the correct would be Chabahar port is located in the Markan, that is coast of Sistan and Balochistan province in the Gulf of Oman and the mouth of Strait of Hormuz. Fine. So do check the map. This would be again very relevant for you in terms of map work, which UPSC tend to ask a question in the prelims examination. Fine. And you can avail the benefit of 5 online mock tests that is there on the current affairs. So do not forget to register yourself and get the benefits. Do check the link in the description section of this video. And all the prevention measures to all the aspirants, the student who are listening, do take all the precautionary measures. Okay, wear a mask, whatever possible. So you can pause this video and check whatever precautionary measure can be taken from your end. Share your responsibility, do your responsibility, ask the people to do their responsibility. Then only we can overcome this pandemic, right? And I sincerely thank you for listening to this video. If you have any other concern, do let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. And you do not forget to subscribe our Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. Many of the informative videos are coming. We are aligning some of the video series for you for the prelims examination. So do subscribe the channel and avail the benefits. And you can also ping to our Telegram channel where you can get questions for daily quizzes are there. Many PDFs are also there. So that can be availed from the Telegram channel. And I sincerely thank that you are listening to this video, you are giving a positive response. If you have any other concern, do let us know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Wish you all the best. Thank you so much.